We know we are not alone in our acute awareness of how healing it is for the physical and emotional body to be in the quiet of nature, and of the stress and disease that can result from living in an urban environment or a chemical-laden home. When we decided to build a bus named her, we had also been feeling what many had been feeling: financial instability, anger over the chaos that consumed our community, helplessness in our ability to feel like we had much control over our lives and over our environment. Both born and raised in the wilder parts of America, we had been longing to return to them. And with one of us a self-employed Chinese medicine practitioner and the other a student in medical school, we wanted to make a wise financial decision. A mobile tiny house seemed the perfect fit, ours being a school bus conversion. We downsized to just what we needed. Not really difficult, but wonderfully freeing. Unable to find a little spot in the country to set up within reasonable commuting distance to the big city, we put her in storage and moved into a studio apartment, which confirmed for us we could easily make it work with few belongings and in a tiny space, especially if it had stars overhead rather than a neighbor's stomping feet. She is a 2003 Thomas Freightliner, and we chose her for her air brakes, Allison 2000 transmission, and Cummins 5.9 24-valve diesel engine. With 123,000 miles, most of her mechanics predate the electrical age, making maintenance much easier and less expensive. We searched far and wide for those mechanics in a bus that also had rust-free southern roots, 6.5 feet of ceiling height, untinted windows, and mountain traveling potential. Freshly retired as well from a school district. A post-build visit to a mechanic brought her up to date and confirmed she came with an excellent bill of health. For those who are nervous about driving a school bus, I just want to say, at 37 feet long, she is an absolute breeze to drive, and I can easily do so barefoot. For us, a non-toxic, healthy, long-living home was a priority, with an open, graceful, and comfortable interior. And as most do-it-yourselfers, we worked 7 long days a week between our jobs and the build. And though I refer to a we, and we were both equally excited about the project, I did 90% of the build myself, the other of us helping on every one of his rare days free and offering an unquantifiable amount of emotional support. While neither of us had any construction experience, we are perfectionists and hoped that this would increase the likelihood of a quality build. We fully gutted her, stripped her down to her metal bones, and removed the floors, ceiling, walls, insulation, caulk, rubber, glue, and pounds of dirt. We scrubbed the interior spotless, which, as it happened, took days in winter, and we had to heat the water on a wood stove in the barn to keep it from freezing. We did everything we could to make this a weatherproof build, and though she didn't have a single leak, we still removed the external lights, caulked every screw, and replaced them with new gaskets, caulked the windshield seams and every rivet on the roof, and removed all the windows, replaced and resealed them. Given how thorough we are not surprised not a single leak has presented itself. A local welder turned the original double flap door into one, which keeps the house warm and dry. We also installed a double cylinder lock, but the traditional manual mechanism for closing the front door also remains intact, a fully functional and fun piece of bus originality. 2 locks secure the back door as well, one lock from the outside, the other from the inside. We did not use any plywood, particle board, glues, or foams, as we feel they are chemical-laden, lack structural integrity, or are vulnerable to moisture. With the exception of the caulk on the windows, every material used is low or zero VOC and non-toxic. We sealed every inch of wood, including the wood you cannot see, with a non-toxic sealant, and cut and placed it during the height of a humid summer at its maximum expansion, ensuring no buckling would later occur. We built her first to be a stationary home and then to be on the move, and with quality and sustainability in mind, we hope her life will be a long one. At 3/4 inch thick, sealed with organic non-toxic tung oil and 2 coats of organic carnauba wax, the floors feel fantastic underfoot. Even with a well-insulated ceiling and floor, the peak indoor ceiling height is still 6 foot 3 inches, and for comparison, I am 5 foot 7. The new mudroom steps are authentic blue bus treads. The shelving immediately upon entry holds a collection of items, and floating above the driver's area is a deep shelf with plenty of space to store electronics, books, games, camping gear, and we think can also serve as extra pantry space. To honor her roots, we kept the original storage cubby and a bit of exposed metal framing just in the entry. We had the driver's seat reupholstered, and to its left is another shelving system enclosing the original electrics and offering additional storage. Slatted walls provide subtle separation between the entryway and main cabin, and I truly think that this is one of my favorite touches. The galley kitchen is equipped with a Furrion electric oven and cooktop designed specifically for RVs. Across the way is an undermount enameled sink with a beautiful copper faucet made for us by Proper Copper Design. The cabinets disguise an under-counter refrigerator and freezer, providing a total of 8.5 cubic feet. The drawers are soft close and the doors are magnetized, providing plenty of storage space. The walnut countertops offer more usable prep space than any city apartment we've ever lived in. We cook 100% of our meals at home, mostly fresh food that requires refrigeration, and by our calculations, the storage options in this kitchen would have allowed us to go 2 weeks between grocery runs. Though we planned to stay put at first, we designed the space so most items could be anchored down when hitting the road. Cords, magnets, or Velcro are the most commonly used, and we also designed the shelving to allow hollow items like baskets, planters, and bowls to be attached with a decorative brass bolt. Items can be switched out for others anytime we want to redecorate. We outfitted one side of the main cabin with a 4 kilowatt wood-burning stove. This lovely little stove is genius, with built-in heat shields permitting more heat clearance than recommended, and resting on a floating slate hearth with all 4 legs bolted through the steel floor of the bus. As a dry, clean heat, unlike propane or diesel, the wood stove keeps the space cozy and comfortable. Centered across from the wood stove is a dinette, the tabletop the heart of a poplar tree. And while every project in a bus build requires a good grasp of the dimensional mathematics, designing that steel table leg demanded some extra resurrection of our suppressed trigonometry knowledge. The seats provide additional storage space beneath, but leave plenty of room to comfortably sit, eat, and chat. The kitchen, dining, living, and bedroom areas are each on their own lighting circuit, with vintage-style light switches that summon the soft glow of warm LED Edison bulbs. All the ceramic pendants in the bus were made by Julie at Eula Ceramics, and we absolutely love them. The main cabin has 2 sofas, each just over 5 feet long, and with their certified organic latex foam cushions, they are legitimately lounge-worthy. We chose durable upholstery fabric and had all the cushions professionally made. With their seamless craftsmanship and removable zippered covers, it was a worthy investment. Creating space for our books was a priority, and we fed 2 birds with one hand here. They fit perfectly on a built-in shelf under the sofa, but also hide the storage space that lives behind them. The plumbing is compact and completely accessible, important for minimizing issues and simplifying maintenance. The 40-gallon water tank and hot water tank live under one sofa, supplying the tub and the kitchen sink, with extra space under the sink for an additional tank if needed. The kitchen has a very nice dual system to prevent freezing. It can drain gray water into the interior tank that is emptied by hand or through the floor into an exterior tank. Needing to live stationary, we hope to set up a sort of French drain gray water system. When we eventually hit the road, stationary tanks can easily be installed, though we are simple and handheld tanks would have worked just as well. The space under the second sofa is available for storage, which we made sure is roomy enough for a 50-amp solar setup. With the 16 interior outlets strategically placed out of sight, there are plenty to plug in whatever we need all at the same time. We used only high-quality marine-grade electrical wire, and in this setup, the 50-amp distribution panel is easily accessed. The 50-amp shore power inlet is Furrion, and the rear has a 15-amp external outlet handy for patio lights. If not using the 15-amp electric oven and cooktop at the same time, a 20-amp system would have surely sufficed. We chose electric, however, because we felt it is healthier, safer, and drier than propane. Moving on from the main cabin, we sacrificed the bathroom to the wheel wells. It is lovely to look back from the kitchen, past the pink tub and plants, to see light streaming in through the back door. This open layout is another reason why the house feels so spacious. Another built-in shelf offers creative privacy for the toilet, as well as more opportunity for storage, and is a perfect spot for houseplants. The toilet is of the homemade composting variety, purchased from Johnny Compost Toilets. It works just as well as a fancy one, is easy to clean, vents odor outside with a 12-volt fan, separates solids and liquids, and diverts urine through the floor of the bus. The tub is a water trough, and as with just about everything else, the towel job was my first. More than once, I put a piece up backwards or upside down. Lastly, the bedroom, which actually feels, we think, like a real bedroom. We oriented the bed so one can embark or disembark with ease without having to crawl over someone else to do so. The walnut frame makes use of the entire width of the room, and just like everything else in the bus, it is rock solid. We created slatted platforms that allow the bed to breathe, and also for one to set a book or a cup of tea, though they hold a person's weight as well, permitting co-sleeping with children. With its ample headroom, bed positioned below the windowsills, and 2 feet of floor space out front, it is truly a beautiful space. The entire area under the bed is open for more storage, and slats allow the mattress to breathe, preventing mold growth. Built-in shelving at the front of the bed provides plenty of space for clothing or more books. With so many storage solutions in the bus, we planned on using the 2 feet of extra bedroom space for hanging plants and floor baskets, but the hardwood walls would also easily support hooks and more clothing baskets. We'll address what we felt were the major aspects of healthy build design in additional videos, but briefly, the process of choosing insulation was one of the most important. Most insulation is chemical laden and an eventual haven for mold growth, so we chose 1 inch of natural cork for the floors and Havelock sheep's wool for the rest of the bus. It is a natural antimicrobial, fireproof insulation that does not mold, improves indoor air quality, absorbs sounds, and is the only insulation capable of managing moisture. One of our favorite bits about the bus is how we can see the wool peeking out through the knots in the wood, reminding us of how healthy this space is. In addition to the insulation, our moisture management also includes a high-quality, low-energy, stainless steel desiccant dehumidifier, running on 3 amps and servicing 1,000 square feet. Plumbed to vent hot, moist air through the floor to the outside, there is no need to dump water. With one of these running on a hot and humid day, it is dramatically cooler and completely dry inside. Along with the dry heat from our wood stove, the space is equally comfortable in cold, wet weather. Additional cooling aid and moisture management comes from the strategically placed max air fans, 1 in the bedroom, 1 in the kitchen. 2 fans create a circulation system. One can pull fresh air in, while another pushes indoor air out, even in the rain. She is most definitely imperfect, and we will gladly tell the story of the wonkiness that forced our hands. It was a mind-bending project, but overall, the entire experience has been remarkable. We've learned more about how little we really need to be happy, about ourselves, and what we are capable of. For me especially, and not because I am a woman, it bothers me that some make a big deal of that, but because I had begun to attach to a story, that because of my pain, I was incapable, I was weak, I would never. Wounding weaves through our lives in a myriad of unanticipated ways, as does healing. Translate this into whatever language you use to describe your reasons for seeking a more peaceful, loving, and healthy life. We hope our story serves as light to your path and are so grateful to those who came before us. Please subscribe and visit our website for more details and photos of her, as well as for links to the many wonderful craftspeople who contributed to the build, and those other bus conversionists to whom we are so grateful and most inspired us.